Hi everyone, my name is Helene Feltzen, and today I want to share with you the method that I use for making viscose paper. Now, I discovered this method in a book by Isabel Hall. Isabel is a textile designer and teacher, and she uses this method to make her silk paper, which she uses in her beautiful bags. Now, as far as I'm aware, Isabel is not a felt maker, but the method that she uses can be transferred over onto viscose paper, and it will can be used within felt making and for embellishing your felt. What you end up with is quite a firm viscose paper, and this can be cut into pieces, so you can actually define your embellishments very well with it. Now, what I've laid down some plastic to cover my surface, because I'm going to be working within a tray, and I'm using netting over that because you make the paper within the netting. It gets slightly messy, so it's best if you are using a tray maybe to cover it with some sort of protection. Now, the tray that I'm using I actually got in IKEA for €3, and I use it a lot when I'm making tiny bits of felt, so I like to keep it clean. The viscose itself has a beautiful drape when it's added to felted wearables. This I purchased in DHG in Italy. Now we will start. So it's very, very easy to do, and it just really requires 4 steps. So we'll start with the viscose. What I'm going to do with it is I'm going to actually lay it as you would with your fibre. I'm going to lay it with wool, lay it in 2 directions. So taking some of the fibre here, now it can either be laid straight, or what I sometimes like to do with it is to break it up slightly and lay it down so that it develops. It looks a little bit like fluffy cans. So I'll make a piece that is about an A4 size today. And remember, if you're working with the viscose, dry hands, otherwise it'll stick to you a bit like wool. So I'm going to make a multicolored piece of viscose paper, and I'm going to have one color on one side, and on the other side I'll put a different color, so it can be flipped and used when it comes to the cutting stage for your felt. Now, as you can see, the colours, the viscose has been randomly laid out in a sort of a north-south, east-west pattern. Now, the issue here is that you don't have to be too fussy about it. It's all very, very random, and in fact it gives a lovely, a nicer effect if it is that way. It's more organic. Now, you take another piece of netting and just lay it on top. Keep everything nice and flat. And now you're ready to wet it down. So I would suggest you put on a pair of rubber gloves or some protection for your hands, because this does get a little bit messy. So the first thing you do with it is you wet it down with basically detergent. So this is just little fairy liquid in water. And what you want to actually achieve with this is plenty of suds in the piece. So the way you're going to do it is you're going to wet it down on one side, turn it, and wet down the other side. So I'm just going to press this through now to make sure that the paper that you're making is nice and sudsy and wet right through, so you don't want any dry bits at this point in time. So press it down. Now, the suds, everything has permeated right through to the other side, so we're ready for step 3. Make up some gloss medium. 1 part gloss medium. I'm using 4 parts water to it, so it's diluted down. That will give a very firm paper. If you want it to be less firm, then dilute it more. Just play with it until you get what you want to use on the texture that you want. Okay. And this time you're actually going to brush it on, and it's important that the whole all the viscose is covered and this permeates right through. So I'd suggest that you kind of work in sections until you have it fully wetted down with the medium. Now, and that's it. As soon as you're happy that the gloss medium has permeated right through the viscose, it's ready to be hung and it's drip dry. So hang it within the netting, preferably in somewhere like a garage or somewhere like that, so that it doesn't ruin your floor, and maybe even put a bit of newspaper underneath it. I tend, when I'm making it during the summertime, I can hang it out in the line and it's dry in a few hours. This would probably take an overnight to dry out in wintertime out in the garage, depending on your general temperature in the area you live in. But that is it ready for hanging now. So just put this to the side, and I made this piece yesterday, so I just want to show you how to remove it. This dried overnight, and in order to remove it you have to go carefully remove it from the netting. So my suggestion to you is put your hand in underneath, and again a dry hand, and just peel it back. And then the other side. If you find it coming away, just hold on to the piece that's actually sticking to your netting, and just hold it down as you're pulling. There we go, and iron it medium temperature, and probably better to do it between 2 layers of baking parchment, and it's good to go. So this was made using the 4 parts water to 1 part of the glass medium, as were these. Here is one that is done totally in blue. A purple version, purple and grey, and red and pinks. Now these two, as an experiment, I stopped at step 2, which was when I put the used the detergent through the viscose, and it actually produces something that's very, very light. It is not particularly stable, but it might be something that you can consider. You may find use for it. I wouldn't try and cut into this now, because it's not really, as I said, it's not stable, it's barely holding together. So it really needs, this is another piece that I made without using the glass medium. So again, it's a little bit more stable, but if you really want to be able to get very defined shapes, make sure that you go to stage 3 and use the glass medium. When it comes to cutting it, I tend to either use very, very sharp scissors or my rotary cutter and a steel ruler. So just make sure that you keep your hands out of the way. So that's it. It's very simple to make, and I hope you have fun making it. Thanks for watching.